humidity and 90-degree temperatures, and it's you sit there and you wonder, how did people ever live here before air conditioning? I know Jon BonJovial, we were talking earlier in the show, because this is his first show back since the hurricane. We were lucky there was no damage to his home or our offices and studio down there, but they were without power for almost 2 weeks, so it was impossible for him to join in.
It was brutal. It was. I mean, and I know what you mean about the the heat. It can become so stifling because the air is not moving, and it's humid as all get out. And we went at the business that I own here in town. We went 11 days without power, and at home we went 12 days without power, and that was no fun.
That sounds brutal. Yeah.
Now, Melanie, for listeners who weren't here the last time or aren't familiar with you, I know you play a full drum kit while standing and singing, which to me alone is enough to just be, impossible. You gotta. I would love to have had the chance to see you, and I hope I do get the chance to see you in person. I know you've been featured in Modern Drummer. You've got an endorsement from Paste Cymbals as well as Vader Percussion.
Yes, true. All true.
Oh, good. I'm glad my notes are right.
I do play a full drum kit standing up, and I started doing that because as a singer, if there are any singers out there listening, you know that it's easier to sing when you're standing because all your breath support comes from your diaphragm. So,
sure.
And just as an energy for the live show, Rich and I both like the front person energy of the front person being able to stand up and dance around with the crowd and move with the music. So I'm able to do that when I'm playing drums standing. And then I have an SPDS-X, which is like a sampler pad mounted on my drum kit, and I have it set up like a piano, and I'm playing about half the bass parts with my drumstick on that, and the other half of the bass parts are covered by Rich on a keyboard that he plays with his feet while he's playing lead guitar. So we sound like a 3 or 4 piece band.
Exactly, and I was just going to slide on over to Rich because we don't want to leave him out because he does just about everything else. Thank you, Jon BonJovial. He just cued me the time, but he does. Let's see if I've got this right. He's a guitarist, he including bass, and he also, as you just mentioned, plays keyboard with his feet.
Yes.
Is that right? Rich,
go
ahead and tell us about that.
I'm not barefoot at the time, so that if that affects anything at all. It's basically just kind of like a modified Moog pedal, or like if you would see like an organist playing the bass pedals with their feet. And we have it set up so that it also controls the same grouping of the sounds that Melanie has on the unit on her drums. So we can kind of seamlessly go between the both of us playing the bass. It was kind of complicated when we first started doing it, but now I don't really even think about it so much anymore. It's just kind of second nature. It feels weird to me when we occasionally play acoustic shows and I'm not playing the bass part. Like it feels, I feel like
out of sorts.
like some
bored
brain lockups.
Yeah, me too. If I'm not playing drums and I'm just singing, it feels weird sometimes.
Well, I've got to tell you, I salute you both for being able to pull that off. Most people, many people anyway, in the music world today would have gone to synthesized background music and pre-recorded tracks. And for you guys to get out there and do it all yourself is notable in and of itself, but then to come up with the sound you come up with on top of that is just awesome. I give you all the credit in the world. It's amazing.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, you just come back from from the tour that went down through the South into Florida and back up. I know you play, over 200 shows a year nationally. What have you got coming up?
Well, we're in writing mode now, so we're trying to finish writing a new album, and, that's the thing that takes the most time is the writing. When we go into record, we do that relatively quickly so we can capture that kind of raw live energy on the record. So we're not traveling a whole lot until the end of the year. We're doing basically just the Northeast U.S. which for us is staying local. And
right.
then in January, February, we're going to go back down south again, and then in the late spring, we'll head back out to the West Coast for late spring, early summer, with hopefully a new record in tow.
Any chance you're going to be stopping in Arizona on that Western trip?
Yeah, we'll definitely be back in Arizona. We love it out there.
Wonderful, because I will make it a point to get out and see you. I want to see you in person. Your newest CD is called Come Into Frame, and if I'm correct, A Cannonball and the other song we're going to play, Gold, are both from that CD, correct?
Correct, yes. Yeah.
Well, we're running a little bit into a time situation here, so I want to be sure and have time to wrap this up properly. Thank you for coming in and joining us, for sharing your story. And please do me one personal favor. Don't wait so long before we get you back on the show. Love to have you again.
We promise, David. We promise.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. You're always welcome. As we tell everybody, you're on the show once, you're part of our family. We'll always have a place for you. You've got new music coming out. Give us a yell. We'll be sure and get that played too. Right now, we're going to go with the second track from your latest CD. It's a thing called Gold. Ladies and gentlemen, from Saratoga Springs, New York, this is SIRSY.
Well, I suppose I'm sorry it doesn't mend it. I made a mess of everything again, and it'd be fair if you just walked away. But you should know it's better than before, and I'm not one for ledges anymore. And I've been trying harder than I say. So don't say it's too late to say less now, 'cause all I know is that the shadows and few say gold, but baby, you're my gold. And I suppose forgiving doesn't end it, 'cause we're bound to screw it up again. But just know I never meant to let you down. I guess it was so hard for me to see, since you've been the anchor keeping hold of me, that you would be the one of us to drown. So don't say it's too late to say less now.
Yes, that's SIRSY. Thing is called Gold. That's from their newest CD, which is, let me check my notes here to make sure I get the name right because I don't want to misinform you. It's called Coming Into Frame. It's on Funslow Records and is available, I believe, now. I'm pretty sure it's already out. I know sometimes we get advance copies for the show, but I'm pretty sure that that album is already out, that new CD. And they will be on tour again. As they said, they're going to be going down the East Coast into Florida, and then they will also be making a westward tour into California and Arizona, and I plan on catching them if I can. I had done a show or two with, I think 2 shows with them in the past, and I'm told that they put on one fantastic show. They just get up there and work their hearts out, and I believe it listening to their music. Don't you, Jon BonJovial?
Oh, she's got an amazing voice, and that's why I was, being quite serious and quite complimentary, I might add, when
sure.
I compared her to Lydia Pence of Cold Blood, because while, you don't hear anything of Cold Blood anymore, if, all of you music freaks out there, you want to, give yourself a treat, go to YouTube, look up Cold Blood, or look up the name Lydia Pence, and this woman has an amazing voice. And Melanie reminded me very much of her singing style and just the raw power and emotion behind it. And when they come back to Florida, I hope they come to the Naples or Fort Myers, Southwest Florida area, because I'd love to see them. I think that it sounds like it would be a terrific show.
Absolutely. I definitely plan on seeing them myself. And listeners, if you get a chance, check them out, SIRSY, SIRSY. Be sure and check out all of our guests online. You can look up their websites by name. You can also find most of them on all the usual suspect places, Facebook, of course, Twitter, Reverb Nation, SoundCloud, all those usual places. Check them out and drop them a line. Let them know what you think. And they appreciate hearing from you and want to know what you think. So don't hesitate. Give them a shout and drop us a line with your comments and questions to David at TheDavidBowers.com. We'll be glad to answer you, and we want to hear your opinions too. Thank you, SIRSY, Matt Evan Johnson, and thank you, Jon BonJovial. Take us home.
Yes, sir. I am on my way. I got my marching orders. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the David Bowers Awards today. The David Bowers Awards is broadcast around the world through the facilities of Computer Help USA in Naples, Florida, and, of course, from the Valley of the Sun in Phoenix, Arizona. And we are available for free download on Blog Talk Radio, also on iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube, 365 Internet Radio, Mixcloud, Tumblr, Spreaker, and Evansi. Be sure to click the follow link on our Blog Talk Radio page and like the David Bowers on Facebook and also on Twitter and all these other silly social media sites. Be sure to join us next week for the David Bowers Awards, Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on WRFZ FM 106.3, Rochester, New York. That, of course, being Rochester Free Radio. Okay, good. As long as we got that clear. And you can join us on Blog Talk Radio Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. Greenwich. So for all of us here at the David Bowers Awards, this is Jon BonJovial saying love each other, and we'll see you next week right here on the David Bowers Awards.